Assalamualaikum and hello Madam Nur Hazarifah. I am Ilyana Sofia binti Rozi and today my group, which is Group D, will be presenting about electric violin program. Firstly, let me introduce my group members, which consist of myself, Mariam Shazwani and Arfa Wardina. Let me give you a quick preview of our presentation for today. We will start off by explaining about introduction, where I will be talking about the functions of the program, problem statement followed by objectives, flowchart, and lastly, the demo working system. Now I will explain about our program's functions. One of these program functions is to generate the electricity bills. The electrical company just have to key in the consumer's account number and the amount of electrical consumption the consumers have used, and the program will generate the electricity bills. The electrical company must state the category of consumers, whether they are domestic or commercial, because the electrical bill calculation is different for both domestic and commercial consumers. This program also allows electrical company to calculate the electricity bills efficiently. This is because they do not have to use separate programs to calculate the electricity bills for domestic consumers or commercial consumers, as the program has included the electricity bills calculation for both type of consumers. By using the electrical consumption and type of consumer that have been keyed in before by the electrical company, the program's calculator will calculate the total fee of electricity the consumers have to pay and thus generate electricity bills. Next, this program can calculate the electrical consumption and also the amount of money that consumers have to pay. The program's calculator capable of calculating the total amount of money that consumers have to pay based on electrical consumption the electrical company have entered early on. The calculation for electricity bills also included 6% service tax for domestic consumers if the consumers use more than 600 kW per hour, where the first 600 kW per hour will not be charged with the 6% service tax, while the commercial consumers, they are not be charged with 6% service tax.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Arfa. Electricity has become one of our most important basic necessities in daily life. Since the number of people who consume electrical energy is numerous, it will be a huge burden for the workers of the electrical company to manually calculate the electrical energy consumption for each and every consumer in order to generate electricity bills. The workers might also make a mistake when calculating the bills, as there are many types of consumers such as domestic consumer, commercial consumers and others, and different categories have different tariff and pricing. When this worker have to do all these calculations manually, the probability of generating the bills with minor or major errors is high, because human tends to do careless and makes mistake unintentionally. However, this problem can be easily solved by using our electric billing program. In our program, the workers are only required to key in the consumer's registered account number and the amount of electrical energy consumption by the consumers. After entering all the important data required by the program, it will automatically calculate and generate the electricity bills for the consumers. This has clearly shown that the process of generating electricity bills will absolutely be much faster and easier by using this program. By developing this program, many problems will be solved and the number of careless mistakes by the workers can also be reduced or prevented. The company can reduce the manual work for managing the electricity bills, and the consumer can know the details of the bills such as total electrical energy consumed, service tax, and total fee including service tax that need to be paid by the consumers. That's all from me for this part, and I will pass this video presentation to Ilyana. Thank you.
There are several objectives which we plan to achieve by using this program. The objectives of this program are: firstly, we plan to develop a system to manage electrical billing for the electrical company. Second, to allow electrical company to calculate the electricity bills efficiently. Third, to generate the total fee of electricity bills including service tax that users must pay. And lastly, to reduce the manual work for managing the electricity bills.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam Nur Hazarifah. My name is Mariam Shazwani binti Ismail. I am one of group members of Group D, and as my group members mentioned before, we are designing an electric billing program. So before designing the program, we have used an algorithm which is the flow chart. in order to plan out how our program will work. So basically our flowchart is divided into three parts, which is the main function flowchart, the domestic function flowchart, and the commercial fee function flowchart. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the main function flowchart first. So in the main function flowchart, we have the function prototype or function declaration. In source code, actually you have to write this function declaration or function prototype before the main function, but since this is just a flowchart, so we just decided to insert it here. So after that, we have the global variables, so that we can call those variables in more than one functions. So these are the variables used, and then this is the information here, so that the program can calculate the total units of electrical energy consumed. And then these are the conditions that the program have to decide. If this condition is true, then it will enter domestic fee function. If this condition is false, then it will enter the next condition, which is the commercial consumer. This is domestic consumer, and then this is commercial consumer. If this is true, then it will enter the commercial fee function. And then let's see if this is false. The program will display invalid information. Please enter the correct category of consumers. This is because our program only considers two categories, which are domestic and commercial. We do not include other categories in our program. So actually our program is designed mainly for domestic and commercial consumers only. So this is the full view of our main function. Okay, so let's proceed to the second function. This is our user-defined function, which is domestic fee function. So in our domestic fee function flowchart, we have 5 conditions you have to consider. If these 5 conditions are not satisfied, then this program will display invalid total units of electric consumption. As we can see here, only consumers who use more than 600 kilowatt hour will be charged on service tax. If the consumers use less than or equal to 600 kilowatt hour, they will not be charged on service tax. So these are the information. The calculation is here, and this one is all the calculations, the formula, the informations that we have to put into the program, so that the program can calculate it. And then this is the conditions that we have to also put into our program, so that the program can do a decision making. And then let's say if one of these conditions is satisfied, it will return total fee after, if this function is called in the main function. So that's it for domestic fee function. Let's proceed to the next function, which is the commercial fee function. Okay, so this is the full view of our commercial fee function. For commercial fee function, we only have 2 decisions to make. So we use if else statement, and then these are the calculations. If this is true, then the calculation will be like this. If this is not true, it will go to the next condition. And if this is true, then this calculation will be used. If this is also not true, it will this program will display invalid total units of electric consumption, meaning that there are some errors when the users enter the data. Could be the users are careless when entering the data. So for this function, it will also return total fee after. So let's see if this function is called, then the total fee after will be returned. Okay, so that's it for our flowcharts, the 3 parts of our flowchart. Well, now it's time to look at how our system works.
So this is the source code of our electric violin program. I'm going to compile the code before running the program. When you start running the code, the exe file will appear and it will show us the output like this. As we have run the code, the exe file will appear and it will show the output like this. This program is built mainly for the use of company in order to generate electricity bill for consumers, specifically for domestic and commercial consumers only. Thank you. So right now, the user have to enter the consumer's registered account number, which is 12-digit number. So I will enter the 12-digit number. After that, the user need to enter the category of the consumer. D for domestic and C for commercial. The user need to input either one of the category, and I will enter D for the category, for the domestic category. Next, the user need to enter the current units of the electrical energy consumed. I will enter 6,000 kilowatt hour, and I will enter 1,000 as the previous unit of electrical energy consumed. So the output will be like this. This is the electricity bill generated for the consumer with account number 12345678912. The consumer is categorized under domestic consumer as we enter the input as D. The program will automatically calculate for the user the total units of electrical energy consumed. As we enter 6,000 kilowatt hour for the current units of the electrical energy consumed and 1,000 as the previous units of the electrical energy consumed, the total units of the electrical energy consumed is 5,000 kilowatt hour. And the total payment excluding service tax is 2,736 ringgit 70 cents. This consumer will be charged 6% of service tax because the total units of electric energy consumed is above 600 kilowatt hour. It will appear the total payment for electrical energy consumed is Rm 3,000 ringgit and 70 cents. The output of this program is correct as we entered the correct inputs, and it will help us to generate the electrical bills with the correct input, with the correct information. I think that's all from me. Thank you. And I will pass this video presentation to Mariam.
So let's say we put another different set of inputs. Let's say the registered account number is 123478, and then let's say the users enter the category of consumer as Y. Let's say the worker of the company is Carlos, and then he enters the category as Y. You can see, and then let's say we enter any value here, and then the output displayed on the screen is the electricity bill is generated for consumer 123478. Invalid information, please enter the correct category of consumers. This program will not generate or calculate the electricity bill because I have entered the category of consumer as Y. We do not have category of consumer as Y. We only have capital D and small letter D and capital and small letter C. So okay, so let's say we use different set of inputs. The account number is this, and then let's say C, commercial. The current units I enter as 300, and then the previous units I entered as 800. So the output displayed will be the electricity bill is generated for this, and this consumer is categorized under commercial consumer. The total units of electrical energy is negative 500 kilowatt hour, which is not true because kilowatt hour cannot be total units of electrical consumption cannot be a negative value, so invalid total units of electric consumption. So the bill will not be generated with a correct value. So the program will tell the users that total units of electric consumption entered is not correct. So that's it for our program. Thank you.